All right, welcome back. And now we are going to be looking at blockchain technology. And joining us is Anthony Mburu. Thank you so much for joining us on Business Today.
Thank you, Kevin, for having me.
All right. Now, let us first of all start with even the basics, looking at blockchain. When we talk about blockchain, what are we exactly talking about?
Thank you once more. So blockchain basically is, we can call it a system in which a series of transactions are recorded in a network that is connected in a peer-to-peer kind of way.
Okay.
And the first industry that has fully adopted and uses that blockchain technology within the world of cryptocurrencies is anchored on that blockchain technology. But basically, blockchain, I can say, it's a network, a decentralized network, a distributed ledger. So in the simplest layman's language, when data is connected to computers that are non-related to one, they're not in one source, it is now moving from the way we've been operating from in everything, finance, marketplace, like there has to be a central point of data being collected, and the consumers are watching data that is coming from a place like KTN. This is the headquarter. People are looking at a screen where data is coming from here, to now decentralizing that information where what we're interacting with, the source is not one place, it's multiple places, but all these places are interconnected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Very well explained. And now let's also look at the market in Kenya.
Yeah.
The blockchain. When you look at the blockchain market, is it something that is popular, or people are still getting into it? And how are we operating in blockchain?
So Kenyans, first of all, it's good to commend and acknowledge that we are among if not the best, we are among the top countries in Africa that are very tech savvy, like they're really adopting upcoming technologies and things of the internet, like the blockchain. And currently, I think for those that are engaging, they only understand it from maybe from cryptocurrencies perspective, but the technology itself is bigger than that, because in my view, this is a next level democracy. It's a place where everybody who chooses to participate in a particular ecosystem has a voice, because there's transparency, there is equality, then there is no biasness that a few individuals will take advantage of everybody else, because the terms and conditions of what brings you together are already directly written into lines of code, and this technology is responsible for the execution part of the process. So when you look at it that way, it's very fascinating to see how that thing unfolds. But to answer your question, I still think we are very early on people understanding this technology. Even those that are participating in cryptocurrencies, they don't understand blockchain. They see it as a platform. It's like in the traditional finance ecosystem, when you talk about Forex, we don't know money as a tradable tool. We see money as a unit of transactions in businesses that are happening in the marketplace. So people are yet more to create usable concepts or utilities or concepts around the blockchain, and now use these tokens to transact in those ecosystems. So the technology itself, we are still early on in people understanding what that thing is all about.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And now let's move on and look at, now blockchain is here with us. People are getting into it the way you've explained. We are still in the early stages of embracing this. Now, when you look at blockchain, we also want to talk about security, the data. And someone might say, okay, now this blockchain, when we use it, how are we assured, or how is someone assured, or a business is assured that their security and their data is safe? Because the other day, WorldCoin came, everyone was trying to get into it. So when you look at blockchain and security, security-wise, are people's data safe?
In my view, 100% yes. Depends on what perspective you're looking at it from. But for me, when you say data can be stored in a series of computers that are interlinked, it simply means that when you are coming to do business, before we actually engage, we have to have a terms of reference, an agreement, a module. Like there's a culture, there's a contract or something that binds us. Now, traditionally, we are used to human beings executing what is already enforced. There are already laws, bylaws, there are already systems in place.
Yes.
And if a human being is involved, then chances are we will always have loopholes because it can be tampered with. But if the same information is encrypted and deployed on this network called a blockchain, then it means for that data to be altered, all these computers have to achieve a consensus. And note that they don't know each other. So it becomes very hard to form cartels or people who can take advantage of the others in the marketplace. So for me, in terms of storing data and going into the future, trusting that technology called the blockchain, I think it's 100% foolproof. That is where we are going to. That's the new democracy, because now everybody knows that if these are terms and conditions,
yes,
then nothing is going to change. Nobody, no few out of this entire group globally, or however many people are involved in that ecosystem,
yes,
no few people will have power over the others. They can sit down and come up with something contrary to this and impose it to us. You cannot. So blockchain for me, I don't see any chances of those concepts that are being built on that network being, let me call it, immutable. They cannot be changed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And also, looking at the business landscape, how is cryptocurrency plus blockchain? Now, let's look at blockchain, not even cryptocurrency. Blockchain, how is it coming to change the business landscape in Kenya and also even globally?
Yeah.
What are we looking at in terms of the thriving businesses, in terms of people getting into this? Is it going to increase the returns that someone is getting in their business? What is blockchain coming to do in business?
Kevin, I'll be using a very simple layman's language for the average person to understand.
Yes.
And in business, how I look at it is that blockchain can only bring more transparency to both ends. The consumers and everybody in the ecosystem brings more transparency, more efficiency. How can I explain it? Look at it this way. Like, let's say the technology is deployed in, let's say, Ministry of, before I come to business, like Ministry of Lands. Why we have that arm of the government called the judiciary is basically to litigate issues that are already clearly outlined in some documents that are out there in the Ministry of Lands, where it is very simple right now using technology to like map a country and know that if I'm good to go into the book's history, I know if this piece of land came initially was 100 acres, it broke down into 50 acres, broke down into these units. You can see it breaking down, and that record is kept on one system where everybody has access.
Yes.
So there can never be a copy of two transactions that look alike. But because systems are centralized, because blockchain means decentralizing information, the people behind the system are able to create copies like two title deeds. And we end up now having a third arm of the government where now you have two people who know the truth have to sit in front of a third person who does not understand what you guys are talking about.
Yes.
We waste so much resources, time and all that. So when it comes to business, look at it this way. Like right now in the banking sector, gone are the days when you used to do, like right now people are going back to school. You won't find the long queues we used to have at Equity Bank and all other banks that people are going to do slips and bankings and then take to school. Thanks to technology, now through your mobile phone, you do it from there. That means these applications have already been given instructions and algorithms are built to do the transactions on behalf of humans effectively, without making a mistake, even to profile you and know if it is in terms of credit, how much you deserve and what is your capability to repay. And if you go against, you see, these are instructions that are already inscribed. So the systems have ability to execute. So blockchain is 100% efficient in regards to, if it's a banking ecosystem, you can write that entire protocol and give instructions to this entire technology called the blockchain, and it runs the execution part. That way, we have more efficiency. The company itself, less overheads because they don't have to put up 1,000 physical offices and hire thousands of employees. And they will never need a support system because blockchain always executes 100% based on, we'll never have delays in transactions or changes in anything. 100% all the time works perfectly.
All right. And now, lastly, as we wrap up, the future of blockchain. When we look at blockchain, what are we looking at in terms of the future, and what are our systems going to operate in future?
For me, when you saw internet come around, we thought now we have gone into a next level of internet connecting the globe and the world becoming a global village, and we literally felt that way. And it's the truth, because now we don't have to be a third world anymore. You can receive news that can positively impact your life if you capitalize on those news before a white guy wakes up on the other end, thanks to internet. Now, this technology is now a different layer of the internet. We call it a Web 3.0. So this different layer of the internet does not only give you access, it gives you ability to participate in a conversation of the future where we are headed. And I'm seeing everything running on an ecosystem where now the consumer has a voice. No, not a few affluent business people in the marketplace, or those people that have owned the systems for a very long time, having control and power and authority over everybody else. It is now the average person who gives value to these transactions and ecosystems in the marketplace, having a voice and participating in concepts where if anybody out there feels like I'm the consumer. Let me put it in a very simple layman's terms, because if I go deep, I'll lose the average person. Like content creation. Before, if you needed to produce like music, you have to go through third parties where you have a person sign up with a record label, and then the consumer will see you through this label that has to put you on a podium. Thanks to this technology, now you're told there is something called like NFTs. You can actually, or you can have a platform where you have access to the consumer directly, and whoever feels like they like your vibe, they can directly interact with you and even be able to dispense value without using the financial ecosystems that we have. Now the cryptocurrencies, that I can receive tokens that I can cash out in my local currency through a fan who likes my content, not through a record label, directly on a platform that I engage with them, and I'm able to receive value, exchange value, without having to have middlemen or intermediaries. That is how the future looks like in every industry globally.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Anthony, for joining us and discussing with us your insights on blockchain. Thank you so much for that. Now, we're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, we are going to discuss about land ownership in Kenya. What are some of the legal aspects when it comes to land ownership, and what you need to do as an individual in order for you to know if the land you own is legit. All right. We're going to go for a short break. We'll be back with more.